for this election?
Thank you very much. The 11th of February was identified and agreed as a feasible date for election, a minimum of 90 days from the declaration. From there to where we are is a process. You know, there are pre-election activities, there are election activities, there are post-election activities. But in summary, let me say that we're over 90% on the process, and what remains now is for us to mobilize to our local government areas for the conduct of the local government election. We had to adjust the date of the election from the 11th of February to the 25th of February. The key reason is that our materials, particularly the sensitive materials, all didn't come in time. And we saw the danger of not addressing the date of the election without a declaration with the political parties. And we had a meeting. Some of the parties advanced 1 month extension. Some said no, 2 weeks. And so we aggregated our thoughts and settled on 25th of February in the few days to come. Through the process, the materials that didn't come are all available. And as I speak with you, the materials are being aggregated for transportation to the 16 local government areas. The ad hoc staffs have been trained and properly mobilized. The allowances are ready. The security arrangements have been concluded. And we're hoping that we'll be moving our materials very shortly. We've been able to contact all our royal fathers, the first-class chiefs in Taraba State, to go around to sensitize and then mobilize for peace so that our people can actually participate. There's no system that is infallible. I hope you know that. It's only God that is infallible. And the key reason why we were unable to conduct the election was because the materials that ought to have been delivered did not come. They are all available now. Now, if I say 90%, the election hasn't been conducted, and therefore I could not have concluded that we're 100%. And I told you that there are pre-election, there are election, and there are post-election issues. To look at election management, these are the components in election management. And you cannot aggregate and score yourself 100% when you are still on the way to that. So the 90% in no way precludes the fact that so many other things are on ground. They will have to travel with the materials to their local government council. The materials there, they are not there yet. So I cannot give any percentage of of success that they are there. Have we started the distribution? No. You see, these materials go to the local government headquarters. We must prepare getting them from the LG headquarters to the wards, and from the wards to the polling unit. And it's the same reverse. They have to come from the polling unit back to the ward, back to the local government, back here. You know, so you can see that it's a system that everybody really has to be meticulously working towards the success. So I believe that you accept the 90% is, I think it's a fair assessment. Yes, I must say that the security authorities in the state have been excellent. In my own assessment, which is coming from the series of meetings, we've held not less than 5 meetings, security meetings. In addition, yes, to not less than 5-6 meetings with political authorities, parties. I would say that there is some good political awareness and sensitization for peace in our churches, in our mosques. Prayers have been offered. We too from here, we've done a lot of sensitization and media briefing, all arguing for security and peace. Let me say that even yesterday we had a meeting, the security meeting, at the instance of the Director of State Security Services, with all the security authorities in the state, with all the political parties, and most of the contestants. That is within the political arena. Now, you know the influence of one person in society. Now, this is an election. We need to target the major stakeholders who can provide resources for peace or otherwise. And that we've been able to do. So, again, the Nigerian police, the State Security Services, the Nigerian Civil Defense Corps, the State Immigration, the State Customs, and all the security authorities are together. We were all looking at the holistic security, not undermining any component of the security services. And let me say that there's some cooperation, but our cooperation may come to zero if we are not in touch with the grassroots. And like I said, we had done an enlightenment campaign across the entire state, and we targeted first-class chiefs. We were at the palace of His Royal Majesty, the Aku, the palace of Garadonga, Plantizing, Lamdo Gashaka, and the chief of Mambila. We were physically there to argue and persuade that we all maintain some degree of security and peace so that these elections also can be conducted in similar manner. Where the material sensitive, not sensitive are distributed, they are there. And this will be narrowed down to the local government level, where they have a security management team. So we're all together hoping that we'll have some tranquility and our people can rise to the occasion to be franchised to actually vote unhindered. I think this is a way of summary what we have attempted to do. We didn't target one arm because everyone should equally invest in security management. You understand the enormity of media practitioners across, the country. Again, if you are going by how your professions operate, there are predilections, to some media based on where they come, and of course the locality and the influence also within the media. There are some media outfits that, of course, that are well grounded, and sometimes if you don't go through them, it appears as if nothing happened. But if you have trailed, our media exposure, we have a regular, I don't know where you listen to our news on the state television, on the Nigerian television, the Taraba State Television, broadcasting services. These are key media outfits where we pay money, and they have been able to carry all this. I have newspapers here, and some of them there. We have been reported. They are all captioned there. But again, it all depends on somebody's exposure. By exposure, I mean your access to the available news, as it were. For sustainability, I think the stasis in what you actually say is because when the election actually was put on hold, it appeared as if a lot, hasn't been done. But even as I speak, we have all the submissions about the media we have dealt with. And I can rightly tell you that we're into several collaborations with Liberty, Core TV, the Kura. They've all been carrying a lot of what we say. But I agree with you. We're not in every media. But to be very honest with you, I think we have done what we ought to do within the confines and within the resources that are available. And of course, our location and where we operate within the confines of the Nigerian nation. And it's access also that determines the use of a service. If you can access a service, you can use it. And we require your financial muscle, your access, to the international systems of the, media practitioners. So these things are all very important when it comes to how much you are seen, how much you are heard. And I believe you that we are certainly not perfect, and that we have increased our propaganda so that people know. And the radio, we have targeted much more because we are more ruralized and more people access radio. And where you don't have electricity, you can only be seen otherwise to buy gadgets that are driven by electricity, and you can't power them. So here we collapse our interests basically on key areas where we can access our people. And you know that the local government is a local government issue. And we need to identify the targets, the principal actors, in the local government. These are local government rural dwellers. And so they are more accessible via the radio system. And I think that the radio for a local government system, we will say that it's fairly good to be able to access the rural dwellers and mobilize them using even, of course, publicity, advocacy. I told you about the chiefs. They have their town hall meetings. And these are ways of also ensuring that some access. And if you are reporting Taraba State elections, you've done well, because people who live here or know, who are indigenous here, they ought to know too what really is happening politically in the state. The electorates do not live in isolation of the total system. I think that we holistically must continue to be determined that, look, the elections ought to hold. We need to pray, because that is where our strength actually is domiciled, and then do the right thing. We need to work for peace, and not just working for peace, but sustain the momentum of peace. And that requires perseverance, because one major thing is to begin something and to abort in midstream. The component that is devoid of that is perseverance. Most of the time we do not persevere. And when you don't persevere, you may lose the last lap that may be more glorious. And I believe that we have labored enough for peace. We have maintained tranquility. We need to protect, promote, and support the security systems, and ensure too that we all come out and vote based on our conscience and our political predilection, devoid of any acrimony or any coercion that may be there. That we have done even in our advocacy visits to promote, the culture of live and let live. And we have told politicians too, or what value is it to you that you won election and your supporters are dead? Whom are you going to administer leadership? And therefore we have said severally that we ought to learn from our leaders. I just plead with our people not to die because somebody wants to be anything. You have your burden to carry. You have a responsibility to yourself. You have a destiny that you ought to fulfill. You're coming from a family. You're coming from a society. Our prayer is that for those who win, they should see humility in victory. And for those who do not win, they should understand that life's journey is not straight, and that there is no road that has no bend. There is no river that doesn't meander, but at the end you still get there. And so I ask people of the state as much as possible to maintain the peace for the sake of our tomorrow and our generations that are to come. Or what gain is it for one to labor for leadership and not to provide the generation that is to come the necessary impetus to rise? Posterity will judge. And therefore we need to pick these messages. And as I told some other person, I said, this life, the impact that comes from you must be felt, so that even in dying, your absence also is felt. That way you lived.